Hello, this is a Tanaka CS33EB chainsaw. There is a quick and simple way to be able to remove the carburetor, and I'm going to show you how to do it. First, you take off the air filter cover. And then you remove the air filter. Okay, then you pull your spark plug wire. Remove the 3 screws that hold the top cover on and the 1 screw that's in the back by the handle. Once you remove those 3 screws, you can pull this up and set it off to the side because of the fuel lines that are still attached to it, which you don't really have to remove. Take the screw off that's in the back and the handle. And remove your handle. Put that screw down, and then you can take your choke lever. That just pops out of there. Right, then you can remove your throttle linkage, and that goes around like that. Okay, then once you remove the throttle linkage, you can take the hoses and the whole cover and tip it over to the other side. Okay, next thing you want to remove is your kill switch. Okay, take the 2 wires off, you just push those to the side, you push down on the little tab here, and you can get behind it and go like that, and then the switch is out. Next, there is 1 screw that's down here in the bottom that you can remove. And you can pull that out, set that down. Next thing you need is a 4mm ball end Allen wrench. Okay, take and shove it through your shut-off switch hole to get to the top screw. Okay, you can back that right out. Okay, next, the slot that the throttle arm went through at the very bottom is a hole, round hole. This Allen wrench will fit right through that round hole, go down in there and line right up with that bottom Allen bolt. Okay, and then you just take and unscrew that. Okay, once you get those all unscrewed and loose, this whole carburetor and everything is ready to come out. You got a fuel line, the intake fuel line, that's right at the very bottom, that's down there. When you pull this out, you're going to have to kind of put some steady pressure on that fuel line, and it will pull out, as you can see. Okay, and you can take this intake manifold off. You can take your fuel line, and if you take the clip, remove the clip, okay, and just get that off, then the fuel line will pull off. Okay, take your little clip off because it likes to run down the fuel line, and it's kind of a pain to get back. Okay, then you've got your other fuel line hose, and you disconnect that, and that removes the carburetor. Okay, now to put the carburetor back in, before you put the carburetor back in, there's a rubber O-ring right here that needs to go in there, and this gasket. Okay, you take a little bit of grease and put it on the O-ring. Doesn't have to be a whole lot, just enough to make it sticky. And you put that back in there first. Okay, then you take your gasket and you make sure that the bypass hole, it lines up with the bypass hole on that, and you put that back in place. Okay, get that in there in the right place, everything should line up. Okay, next thing you want to do is put your carburetor fuel line back on. You can pull on this. There's a pretty good little bit of fuel line in there. So, and then you put your little wire on there, your hose clamp, put your hose on it, put your clamp on, like that, okay? Then you can take, now you can turn the carburetor back around and you can put this hose on here, okay? Now I'm having issues with this gasket staying in the spot. Alright, now you can run this down, put your intake back on it. Okay. Set everything down in there. Best off lining up the top hole. That'll take and line that gasket up. Okay. And then you want to take and get this one. Now if it ain't lined up, the screw will just sit there and spin and spin and spin because it's not going into the hole. But this one lined up. Get that tight. Then you tighten this up the rest of the way. Then you take one of the screw that came out of that, you put that back in there. When you back up, screw the screw out until it drops, and then when it drops, tighten it back in. This way you're assuring yourself you're going back into the same threads that it came out of, and it won't strip out real easy. Okay, the next thing you want to do is put your throttle linkage back in. Okay, just take your pair of pliers and just give it a little twist, falls right in. Okay, before you do that, put your hoses back over to the other side. Okay, then put that back in there. Then you take your wire choke handle and you put that back where it belongs. Make sure you got your rubber in the right place. Okay, and then you drop this back over this way. Then you've got your shut-off switch wires. And you hook them back up. And you can snap that back in there. Okay, then these hoses go up and around the intake. So you can take and put that back up in there like that. Drop them around there like that. And everything should go together. There you go. Put these screws back in. And screw that back in. Back them up, drops. Back in the same hole. You got the one in the front. Nervous. Okay, now put your handle back on. Make sure you got your wire that's up underneath here hooked in. Put that back in there. Snap that down. Put your screw in. Check to see if you've got everything in there right. Make sure you do that. Make sure it opens freely. You pull the choke, you pull it, and the choke moves in and out just fine. Okay? So you're all set to go there. Put your spark plug wire back in. Put that back on. Put this back all in. You're still not quite done yet. When you get done with that, then we got to fish out the fuel line to straighten it back out so there's no kinks. Okay, take that, you grab this like this and just give it a pull. It will pull out. Make a hook. Take your hook. You grab the filter, pull on the filter, get it out of the hole. That with it. can feel it when it's unhooked, and then you got about that much out. That should drop right in there like that. Put your cap back on it, put your fuel in it, tighten that down, and that's how you do it. It should take you 25 to 30 minutes. First one might take you a little longer until you get used to how everything goes, but once you do one, it goes really quick after that. Thank you.